Hey, what's up, everybody? How the heck are you? It's Saturday, Datter had Ewan's soccer team had a game this morning, and they ended up losing. It was 8-5. They dug themselves in a hole early, then they came storming back, and then the other team finished it strong. But Ewan scored 2 goals. He usually plays center back, center defender, and he got to play some midfield and was able to get up and get involved in the offense. And it's just fun to be able to watch him play in different positions. I know that he puts a lot of stress, feels a lot of stress when he's center back because he's fast and like a lot hangs on him as the last guy back to help the keeper and stuff. And it's nice to be able for him to be able to play other places. He really enjoyed it. So I'm just pulling up the live here on my phone so that I can make sure everything's working good. Janine, how the heck are you? Good to see you. You are awesome. I love Janine. If you don't know Janine Suvak, I want to tell you, all my entrepreneur friends, she is incredible. She has been a huge help to me over the last 2 weeks, getting refocused, helping me have the confidence and get back in the mindset of doing my workshop that I'm doing next week. She was the driver in getting me thinking and the wheels turning about this video series. So you can give a thanks to her for that. Thank you, Janine. You are incredible. I know you and I have talked about this a lot over the last couple of weeks, but I'm so grateful to have you in my life. I'm so excited to hang out with you next week as well. But then on top of that, if you are struggling and need guidance on just sifting and prioritizing and getting stuff done, having somebody tell you what you need to do and focus on it so you can do it, go and partner with Janine. Her fees are absolutely worth it. She's not charging people enough. So go and do that. That's my plug for you, Janine. Today I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about today, and I bounced around on a few different topics, and then I was just doing some research, looking at some things. I saw a couple of videos. Wow, some videos kind of gave me some clarity, right? I decided I wanted to focus on how important it is to guide your audience on a journey with your business stories. Whether they're on video, or it's speaking from the stage, or it's on Facebook Lives, or if it's face-to-face, your stories have to take your audience on a journey to prepare them to buy when you sell at the end of the thing or later on down the road. If they do not go on a journey with you, they are not going to buy from you. Okay? So that is what we're going to talk about today. So let's jump right in. Okay, happy Saturday. Anders, thanks for hopping on. Good to see you. So, my friends, my dear friends, today's message is all about the importance of taking your audience on a journey. And if you fail to take them on a journey through your stories, through the things that you're talking about, they will not buy from you when that sale, the offer, whenever it comes. If you do not take them on a journey, they will not buy. Okay? And some people might say that that's not true, or they might disagree with me. I am telling you, I can see when you take your audience on a journey, when I've been a part of an audience and been taken through a journey, I usually buy, or I am so pumped up and primed and ready to roll at the end, right? Then there are times when you sit there and watch or participate and you're there viewing something and you just kind of take it in and you're not really loving the journey. The energy goes out of the room. You don't feel inspired to take any sort of action and nothing happens. So from my experience, Carrie, what's up? Cheryl, what's up? Christopher, what's up? Thanks for hopping on, you guys. When you don't do that, when you don't take your audience on a journey, they will not buy from you, okay? And so I have a few examples of that we're gonna walk through that kind of shows the journey that things take things on. And some of you, I'm just gonna preface this, some of you might feel like some of it's manipulative. And you can see through these examples that I'm going to show you how there is some things that you can that could be used for evil in manipulation. But they show on a very basic and comedic level that will make you chuckle how simple it is to get people psychologically primed and prepared by taking them on a journey. Okay? So just a moment of teaching here. Again, I'm a big Star Wars guy, and today is May the 4th, so it's Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you all. It's just, we're going to have a Star Wars themed dinner here. Lisa, I can see her pulling up with coming back from the store and everything. But when you look at movies, let's just use movies. I'm a big movie guy. I'm a visual learner and stuff like that. So when you look at films and movies and things like that, what do? They take us to a galaxy far, far away, right? They prepare us. They educate us. They indoctrinate us in a way of thinking. We see plights of different types of people, right? We see all of these things. And we go on the journey, like Avengers, the whole Marvel universe. I haven't seen Endgame yet, so don't spoil anything. And I won't spoil anything either. I don't know anything, but like we've gone over the last 11 years, I think it's been, on this journey with all of these characters. And now, boom, we're coming to the close of it. And that thing has made billions and billions of dollars in the box office. Disney bought Marvel for $4 billion. Disney bought Lucasfilm for $4 billion. They've made that money back on both of those investments already, and then some, right? And it's because if you look at that pattern, the journey, they get us really bought into the characters. We see all of the development and the maturity of the characters throughout all of this stuff, the different arcs and everything, and we're bought into their cause, right? Now, with you don't have a budget to make Marvel movie type videos for your business or tell those kinds of stories, right? But you can do that same thing. You lead your audience. You have people that you are serving and wanting to help with your products and services, like Christopher Voss. He has some great marketing magic things to get people's attention, to make you memorable, to stand out, but then also to be able to close deals and things like that. Like he has this wallet that he opens it and flames shoot out of it. It's incredible, right? Now, if you want a showstopper or something like that, get in touch with Christopher and he'll get you one of those wallets and some tricks, right? But even Jim Edwards, if you know who he is, he bought Christopher's wallet to use it. I saw it on Funnel Fridays the other day. But when you take people on the journey and you give them an experience, you connect with them heart to heart, they buy into your cause, all of those things, then when the time comes to offer or sell them something, they're going to be more primed and ready to buy because they have psychologically and emotionally connected to you by going on this journey with you, right? Think again, movies, Lord of the Rings, right? In that trilogy, we meet Frodo and people from the Shire who were this literally small, but the littlest people in all of Middle Earth, right? In status, in influence, and in stature. And by the end, they were beloved characters. We went on this journey. We cried with them. We wept tears of joy and their victories and pain and sorrow and all of those things because we went on that journey. And in the end, when they were victorious, we felt victorious too because we were so into it. Now, with your business, right? Because that's what all of this is about. This is about, hey, what's up, Krista? When you start telling your stories for your business, it's one thing to tell stories to want people to get to know you and connect with you in your business. Yes, those things are going to happen. But why are we in business again? Go in the comments. Why are all of us in business? What is so we have our lofty, I want to serve and help people, but why are we in business? Go in the comments and tell me why you are in business aside from wanting to serve or help people. Do it. I'm going to grab a drink. Okay? Who is in business just to have fun? Who is in business just to meet new people? Who is in business just to be able to sleep well at night? Let's see. Comments. Money. Janine is on the dot, right? We are in business to make money, to provide for our families, to have the living and the things that we want and that we feel we deserve, right? That is why we are in business. We created something from pain from our own lives that can help others, but we charge people for it, right? And by doing that, those people, their lives get blessed, everyone grows, and we ascend together, right? That is why we're in business. So when you start to think about your stories and your experiences and everything that led you to come into business, you have to be focused on turning that story into a way to make a profit, to make revenue and generate revenue from it. Now that's not selfish. That's not underhanded or scammy or anything. That's what all these people do. You look at earlier this week. I did like a watch party. I'll share the link here at the end. I'll go back and comment here when I'm doing it because I don't have it handy. But there was an amazing webinar by Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, and Russell Brunson. It was a 2-hour thing. Over 200,000 people showed up live. It was incredible. And these guys they don't need to make any more money, right? But their stories and everything that they told, and they're not in this to make money. That's what they say in the thing, right? They want to help people get to the next level, to be able to have the life that they want, because they have seen in their lives how everything has changed. But in that webinar, I talked about this a couple days ago in my live where I talked through webinars and the different types of stories that need to go into a good webinar. They told hundreds of stories that led us on a journey to connect with them emotionally and personally and psychologically, but then showed that the things that they were doing and the things that they were offering, they led us through the journey of starting wherever we're at and doing all these things and following these stories where we could be, right? And that is why they are multi-millionaire billionaires, right? Tony Robbins does $6 billion a year, I think, annually in all of his businesses. Dean Graziosi is hundreds of millions. Russell Brunson is over 100 million, right? So these are guys who know how to make money, and they use these stories in order to connect, serve, but also sell their products, okay? So that's why what you need to be intentional about. I talk always about begin with the end in mind, right? Begin with the end in mind is how you build the stories, right? And if you're not intentional, if you're just going live for the sake of going live, you're going to miss the mark and people aren't going to connect, okay? So, let's see, Janine says, get a bigger airplane. That's what, oh yeah, Janine she has an airplane, you guys. She and her husband just upgraded their airplane, and that's just so cool. I want an airplane. She and I were talking about how I would love to have a P-51 Mustang. The clouds just covered the sun, so it got really dark in here. But a P-51 Mustang, I want one of those. I love that airplane, right? Like, it's okay to want things, and it's okay to use your stories and your experiences and the expertise that you have developed throughout your life to be able to get those things while serving others, okay? So I want to show you a couple of videos that I came across. A couple of them I've seen before, and they just kind of popped back into my mind as I was looking at some other stuff. And another one's one that I just discovered in my research today. But while this is going on, I will get the link to that webinar and I'll drop it in the comments as well. But I want you to watch this first one. Which one do I want to do first? Is okay, we'll talk. This one is like. The first two that we'll show, this first one, it's like a mock TED Talk, right? So I want you to see what he does in this talk. It's just a few minutes long. He talks about, he says exactly what he's doing on stage, but he says it in a way that, like, you know, it's just like a TED Talk, but it just shows you the process of how TED Talks and things like that are used with change of inflection and voice, how you do this and this and this in order to gain credibility, connect with your audience, guide them on the journey. So pay attention to those things. And then like as you see funny things or notice things, comment during the video and we'll sum it up at the end. But this one, this first one, I discovered a couple years ago and I laughed so hard because it's absolutely true. So let me know your thoughts. Here we go.
Walk on stage, walk on stage, walk on stage, walk on stage. I am a thought leader. You know that I'm a thought leader because I'm wearing a blazer, I have glasses, and I've just done this with my hands. I will now walk over to my laptop. By doing so, I'm demonstrating to you that as a thought leader, I understand technology and that there will be slides. Because everybody knows that a presentation seems more legitimate than it actually is if there are slides. I'm now going to come back to the center of the stage and give you some unremarkable context about how I became a thought leader. If it's okay with you, I'd like to pace while telling you this story. In 2009, I met a thought leader and I asked him, how did you become a thought leader? And you know what he said? He said, I don't know. Now that doesn't sound important, and it's not. But if I repeat it 3 times, I'm making you believe that it is important. He said, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Let's look at a picture of the planet for no reason. It's nice, isn't it? That's where we live. What happens if I put some words over it? How about a number? What if I pose a question? By doing this, I've now made you think that I know what I'm talking about. Okay. Walking over here, I'm going to change the tone of my voice. And I'm going to tell you an unremarkable story that's seemingly unrelated. And it's funny. And you'll know it's funny because I'm laughing and you're laughing. And you'll ask yourselves, what does this have to do with his talk? What is the point? Well, coming back to the center and slowing my speech, lowering the volume of my voice by looking at you directly and by making a list on my fingers, I've made you believe there is a point. Sip of water. Check the time. Ooh, let's bring this puppy home. Graph, 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 pie chart, statistic. How about we end with a question, a very big question. What if everybody in this room decided to come together and agree with what I'm saying? Let's look at a picture of the planet again. That is a world I want to live in. Coming back to the center of the stage. Standing ovation. Humble head nod, humble head nod, humble head nod. See someone I know. Humble head nod. Video fades to black while the applause continues for an unrealistic amount of time. Humble head nod. Thank you. Walk off stage. Walk off stage. Walk off stage.
Okay, what did you guys think of that? Do you see, one, it's humorous because if you've ever watched a TED Talk or anything like that, like, he nails it, right? And it's just one of those things that you see the journey that TED Talks and speakers and stuff that they want to take, the journey that they want to take the audience on, right? Not only is he saying, like, thought leader. I do this and I talk and I do this. You know this because I just did this with my hands. You know, all that. He's saying it, but like, you know, it's like parts where he's like, slowing down my speech, lowering the tone of my voice. Like, you see how that, when you have actual information, but even when you're watching it in a satirical way, you see how it takes the audience on a journey, where his thing at the end was like, what if I ask a question that's so big that everyone in this room agrees with me? That's the world that I want to live in, right? It's just funny, but you see that journey, right? So does that make sense? Do you see how that can be used? That was used in a very purposeful way, right? That video specifically was to show how silly sometimes every TED Talk or whatever is like framed in the same way, or, you know, that kind of thing. The next video is a similar mock TED Talk. So let's go ahead and watch that one, and then again we'll talk about why the journey. Like, don't think of this as showing people how to manipulate. No. It guides the people, the audience, the people you're speaking to, whether it's in video, on stage, in person, whatever it might be. It shows the importance of the journey that you take people on, and that the information doesn't necessarily have to be perfect or nailed in. You just have to have the message and the journey dialed in, and when you do, amazing things follow. Okay, so here is the next one. I think it's titled like How to Sound Smart in a TED Talk or something. So here we go.
Hear that? That's nothing. Which is what I, as a speaker at today's conference, have for you all. I have nothing. Nada. Zip. Zilch. Zippo. Nothing smart. Nothing inspirational. Nothing even remotely researched at all. I have absolutely nothing to say whatsoever. And yet, through my manner of speaking, I will make it seem like I do. Like what I am saying is brilliant. And maybe, just maybe, you will feel like you've learned something. Now, I'm going to get started with the opening. I'm going to make a lot of hand gestures. I'm going to do this with my right hand. I'm going to do this with my left. I'm going to adjust my glasses. And then I'm going to ask you all a question. By show of hands, how many of you all have been asked a question before? Okay, great. I'm seeing some hands. And again, I have nothing here. Now, I'm going to react to that and act like I'm telling you a personal anecdote. Something to break the tension, something to endear myself a little bit, something kind of embarrassing. And you guys are going to make an awe sound. It's true. It really happened. And now I'm going to bring it to a broader point. I'm going to reel you back in. I'm going to make it intellectual. I'm going to bring it to this man right here. Now, what this man did was important, I'm sure. But I, for one, have no idea who he is. I simply Google image the word scientist. And now, you see, I'd like it to seem like I'm making points, building an argument, inspiring you to change your life, when in reality, this is just me buying time. Now, if you don't believe me, let's take a look at the numbers. This is a real thing that's happening right now. The number of talks that I'm giving is 1. Interesting facts imparted thus far in said talk, well, that's going to be a 0. My height in inches is 70.5. Note the 0.5 there. 2 times 6 equals 12. And then interestingly enough, 6 times 2 also equals 12. That's math. 352 is a 3-digit number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then almost immediately following that, we get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, to add more filler here, I'm going to give you a couple more numbers to consider. 18, 237, 5,601. 2.6 million. 4. 24. Staggering. These are real numbers, all of them. And to follow that up, let's take a look at some graphs. Now, if you take a look at this pie chart, what you're going to see is that the majority far exceeds the minority. Everybody see that? Cool, isn't it? And let's take a look at this bar graph because it shows similarly irrelevant data. Now, I'm doing this because I'd like to make it seem like I've done my homework. If you were, say, watching this on YouTube with the sound off, you might think, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. But I don't. I'm floundering, panicking, I've got nothing. I'm a total and utter phony. But you know what? I was offered a TED Talk. And damn it, I'm going to see it through. Now, if you take a look behind me, these are just words paired with vaguely thought-provoking stock photos. I'm going to point at them like I'm making use both of my time as well as your time, but in reality, I don't know what half of them mean. And now, as these continue, I'm just going to start saying gibberish. Wagga wah, gabba gabba, turkey, mouth in a mouth, chip, trip, my dog Skip. Rip it and dip it, Richard. I'm an itty-bitty baby bopper, and I'm hungry in my tum-tum. Brad Pitt, Uma Thurman. Names, things, words, and more things. And see, it feels like it might make sense, doesn't it? Like maybe, just maybe, I'm building to some sort of satisfying conclusion. I mean, I'm gesticulating as though I am. I'm pacing, I'm growing in intensity, I'm taking off my glasses, which, by the way, are just frames. I wore them to look smart, even though my vision is perfect. And now I'm going to slow things down a little bit. I'm going to change the tone. I'm going to make it seem like I'm building to a moment. And what if I was? Amazing, isn't it? What can you do? Life's a roller coaster. You know, if there's one thing you take away from my talk, I'd like you to think about what you heard at the beginning, and I'd like you to think about what you hear now. Because it was nothing, and it's still nothing. Think about that. Or don't, that's fine. And now I'm going to stop talking. Thank you.
Okay, so that's just another satirical poke at how TED Talks are structured, right? But do you see how they are, the structure and even the things that they're making fun of, how it is designed to guide the audience on a journey that endears you to them, that sets you up as an expert, and gets them to take action, right? Like we were talking about it, I can't remember which one, which video it was last week, where I said with every story that you take, like origin stories and things like that, is to introduce yourself to them, endear them, create a personal connection, you know, show them how you are an expert and guide them through why what you do is important, and then get them to do something at the end. Both of those examples show you perfectly how those are structured by telling you exactly what they're doing, but you see the psychological and emotional things and reactions that it causes in the audience. When you think of your business and your stories, that is how you need to be thinking about structuring them. Not to manipulate, but to take them on a similar journey. Colleen, I just saw, hopped on, and Colleen and I are working together. She sent me earlier today kind of like her vision, a storyboard of a video that she's going to create. And I'm going to help her with putting it together. And it's cool to see, like she, a couple days ago, sent me like her kind of talking through the script of something, and then today it was like all written out how she's envisioning it in her mind. And it's cool to see when you start to think about guiding your people on a journey and all those kinds of things, how it helps. And you know what she's going to do is going to turn out to be incredible, right? And so think of that with your business, with what you're doing, with your services. Like, I don't know, I wish this could show me who's actually on live. Like, I just have a number. I can't see exactly who it is because I know people hop on and drop off and hop on and drop off. But think of your business and what you're doing, what you're building right now. If you haven't made any videos, if you haven't really published or put your story out there, that's fine. Well, it's not fine. You need to do it, but you're here watching now to learn how to do it, right? So start thinking intentionally about what you do and all of the different stories that you can tell that endear people to you. They can build a personal connection to you. It can set you up as an expert that you know what you're talking and how the thing that you've developed helps and changes and saves lives or does whatever it does. But then also inspires them and leads them to the conclusion that they want to partner or need to partner or buy or hire or whatever it is with you, okay? Those two examples of TED Talks show it. This next example is a video. It's a generic brand video. It's somebody else kind of taking a video and making it, poking fun at generic like corporate brand videos. But you can see, and they created this all completely with stock footage. You don't have to like hire a major film crew. It can all be done with stock footage and editing, right? So let's watch this one. It's a couple minutes long. It's just a generic brand corporate type of video. But again, pay attention to the journey that it pokes fun of, but what it does. And you can see the parallels in so many corporate videos that you've watched. And then we'll talk about that and some ways to differentiate yourself from how everyone else is doing it. Okay, so here's this one.
We think first of vague words that are synonyms for progress and pair them with footage of a high-speed train. Science is doing lots of stuff that may or may not have anything to do with us. See how this guy in a lab coat holds up a beaker? That means we do research. Here's a picture of DNA. There are a shitload of people in the world, especially in India. See how we're part of the global economy? Look at those farmers in China. But we also do business in the USA, or want you to think we do. Check out this wind energy thing in Indiana, and this blue-collar guy with dirt on his face. Also, we care about the environment, loosely. Here's some powerful rushing water and people planting trees. Our policies could be related to these panoramic views of Costa Rica. In today's high-speed environment, stop-motion footage of a city at night with cars turning quickly makes you think about doing things efficiently and time passing. Lest you think we're a faceless entity, look at all these attractive people. Here's some of them talking and laughing, and close-ups of hands passing canned goods to each other in a setting that evokes community service. Equality, innovation, honesty, and advancement are all words we choose from a list. Our prophets are awe-inspiring, like this guy who's looking up and pointing at a skyscraper or a kite while smiling and explaining something to his child. Using a specific ratio of Asian people to black people to women to white men, we want to make sure we represent your needs and interests, or at least a version of your skin color in our ads. Did we put a baby in here? What about an ethnic old man whose wrinkled smile represents the happiness and wisdom of the poor? Yep.
Okay. What did you think of that one? You can see how that takes people on a journey, a very specific journey, right? It makes fun of, pokes fun of how things are used in marketing and in messages and brand messages, right? That doesn't, like, you see, like, after seeing that and having it, like, kind of held up in your face how crazy some of these things are. You can see, oh man, I've got some sun stuff coming in. Oh no. So pay no attention to this big crazy thing. In the next video, I will adjust. But so think of how those things help people connect. Like that one, like you've seen these corporate videos that have all of those things, and it talks about specifically why they do it. So that there's a specific ethnic or use of ethnic backgrounds and things like that in order to include everybody. And also we care about the environment. And oh, look at these time-lapse videos of cityscapes at night and all this stuff that we see all over the place. They do deliberately. They do it because it'd be like, oh, that resonates with me, because they show every person, every type of person in it, right? Now, when you do that, that works if you're a huge corporation or things like that. But like most of the people who are watching this, Nate, thanks for hopping on. Lee, if you're still on, happy to have you. If you're starting out or you don't have a huge following or you're not a global corporation or anything like that, right? You are needing to cater and direct your message to specific people, right? You can serve everybody. I was having a conversation last night with a friend who swung by to drop off a lawnmower at my house. Thanks, Josh, if you see this. We sit... so many people want to save and help the entire world, right? And there's nothing like wrong with wanting to do that. But you need to niche down, right? And direct your messaging and what you're doing and who you're serving to a very specific group of people. Then as you grow, you can either expand that net to capture more of that same type of people, or you can be like find these fringe groups that also fit into that, you can bring into that world, right? So using these examples of taking people on a journey, through inflection and delivery of the message, but helping them connect with you on a personal level, helping them become, in their eyes, an authority figure, an expert, and how your thing helps and changes and why they need it in their life, and that gets them to buy. Like that journey, every time, whether it's like, on a Facebook Live or a produced video or a podcast or anything like that, you need to have that kind of a journey within every story every time you go live. So, transparency, right? This whole series is to do a couple things to help people connect with me. Like I talked about, I'm a big Star Wars nerd and it's Star Wars Day and all of that stuff, right? I share personal things, like I talked about going to soccer today and how fun it is to watch my son. Last week I talked about his soccer coach and things like that. Things that you get to know me better as a person and hopefully endear a little bit. We're like, that Nick is a good solid dude, right? And then also all of this wisdom and stuff that I am dropping in this, like you cannot say that I don't, there's no way you can say that I have no clue what I'm talking about. Can anyone deny that, right? And then on top of it, like why you need to be using these things, like it's very clear that you need to be using these things, and I'm showing you that you can and that you should, but if you need help, come to me, right? That's the thing. Like I've had Colleen, she reached out to me and we're working on some stuff. So when you get stuck and you need extra help, then you come to me, right? And I can help you take it to the whole next level. You see the journey that I personally am taking you guys on through all of these videos, individually each video, but then collectively as well. Do you see what's going to happen? Like, I know some of you are going to be like, dude, Nick is freaking awesome and I need help with my story. I've been working on it. Yes, I'll sit down with him for 90 minutes and I'll pay him a couple grand or, whatever it is to sit down and talk with him about it. Oh, Nick was talking about that webinar. He dropped the link. I'm going to go look at it. Oh my gosh, this stuff is incredible. I'm going to buy it because it's Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, and Russell Brunson and Nick Fitzgerald, right? Like those things are going to happen. Have happened, right? But it's all about the journey, okay? Now, I want to, let's see, where are the fake glasses? I don't need fake glasses. Maybe I need to get some fake glasses, right, Janine? So this is this last video, and then I'll adjust my blinds to get rid of all this crazy sunlight that's coming in. But this next one is a video that some of you have probably seen. It's my Friendly Giant Films video. Now, think of the journey that I've been talking about. What's the journey? Go in the comment. Give me a comment. Like, what are the four parts of the customer journey, your audience journey through a story? I've repeated them like 7 times. Go in the comments. I'm gonna grab a drink from my Coke, which is almost gone. I forgot to fill my water bottle up. Tell me the 4 parts in the journey of the story that you want to take your clients on. Go. It's gone. It's gone. Okay. Anyone? Do we have any? Hans, Tanya, thanks for hopping on YouTube. Okay, I'll review it for you again, and then we'll watch this and see if I hit those. Okay? First, you want to be able to, and it doesn't have to go in this order. Like it's always good to endear them to you, to form some sort of personal connection to one another between you and the audience. Then to establish authority, to show that you know what you're talking about, that you're an expert, and that why they need to use your services, or like why what you do is important to them. And then something that primes them to be ready to take action or do something. Okay? You got it? Look for those 4 in this video. Here we go. One of my fondest memories is going to the movies with my grandma. She took me to see Return of the Jedi, and I was so excited to see my heroes again. I remember the smell of popcorn, the way that my shoes stuck to the floor. I remember the lights dimming, the music swelling. I remember Jabba the Hutt, Ewoks, Yoda, Boba Fett, the Emperor, Darth Vader dying, Princess Leia in a bikini, the rebels defeating the Empire once and for all, good beating evil. It was raw and it was real, and I'll always remember the way that it made me feel. I'm Nick Fitzgerald, founder of Friendly Giant Films. Over the last 3 years, I've worked on 13 feature films, a television series, numerous commercials, and TV news, all while learning from master storytellers. My passion is to help others find and tell their own stories. Audiences remember a powerful story, sights, smells, emotions, and who they shared it with. We want your audience to remember those things when they hear your story. So come join with us as we work together to change your world, one story at a time. Okay, that was the wrong version of it. That wasn't the full finished version of it. But you get the idea behind it, right? Did I hit those 4 points? Give me the comments. I have to make one more adjustment because I couldn't see my screen with the lighting. So go, give me your comments and tell me if I hit those 4 really quick. Really, go. I'm still here. There we go. That's better. Okay, did I hit all 4 of those? Janine says yes. Right? It is one of those things that I took you on a journey, right? I shared an experience of my fondest memory with my grandma. Now, not everyone has memories of my grandma. Like last Saturday, I talked about the guitar that I inherited, that I have, that was my grandfather, Fitzgerald, my grandpa Garnett. I never met him, right? So I know that not everyone has a personal connection to a grandparent sometimes. But one of my fondest memories is going to the movies with my grandma. Those of you who have fond memories of your grandma, right then you start thinking and remembering and thinking of your grandma, right? It just comes back. And I talk about how we went to go see Return of the Jedi, and I was so excited to see my heroes again. Again, that hits the Star Wars nerds, or it gets anyone that's ever gone to the movies. I remember the smell of popcorn, the way that my shoes stuck to the floor, the lights dimming, the music swelling, all of the things in the movie. Everyone who has been to a movie, in a movie theater, has experienced one of those things. So we have a personal connection to one another. Do you see that? That's intentional. It came as a part of the story, but it was by design as well to help people set the tone. Like if you're listening to it, like if you go to friendlygiantfilms.com, it has the full, the final version. But like, you know, you can, if you have headphones on, you can hear that shot where it shows the feet walking when I'm talking about sticking to the floor. You can hear that noise, right? That we've all experienced in the movie theater, right? And so all of those little things connect with me. Then what did I do after that story? I transitioned to saying, like, I'm Nick Fitzgerald. I founded this company, and over the past 3 years, I've worked with master storytellers, and worked on 13 feature films. It's like I'm setting up my credibility and showing that I know what I'm talking about, right? Do you see that was done on purpose? And then I show all the great pictures and a bunch of shots of things that I worked on and did and created and everything. The music swells. It gets you like emotional. Like you see the dancers start dancing as the music swells. You see, all of those things causes a reaction within you, right? Psychologically and emotionally. And then everyone remembers a powerful story, sights, smells, and who they shared it with. We want your audience to remember that when they hear your story, right? So then it's like, whoa, you have no idea how many people watch that video, and I get a message be like, dude, that video is awesome. I want one of those for my business, right? So for me and my business, that is great. It gets people to be like, I want that, right? Which is good for me because I get to help them create that message and make that video that goes on their website and their funnel and social media and all those other places. They pay me handsomely for it, and I get the joy of serving and helping other people connect and helping your audience connect with you because I just absolutely love that, right? Do you see that journey? That is like, it's done by being intentional and just being strategic in the stuff. Leading your audience on the journey prepares them psychologically and emotionally to get their wallets out and buy when the offer is made. If you're not and you're stuck, all this stuff, like go back and watch these stuff. I've been covering e-com. I covered real estate. I've got lots of other business types and niches that I'm going to cover. If you're a niche, if I haven't covered anything that really speaks specifically to you, tell me in the comments because I want to do that and help you guys see that you can take your stories and experiences and turn them into more revenue, more sales, more engagement. Because that is the bottom line of what we're doing in business, is to make money. And it's simple stuff. Yes, I'm a wizard. I'm not going to say that like you can like just wake up tomorrow and it's going to work. You have to put in some work, or you need to partner with somebody like me to be able to work through it, right? but it is doable. And you don't have to be Tony Robbins or Russell Brunson or Gary Vaynerchuk that has full-time video crews following them around all the time, creating content for them, creating like 50 videos a day for them, all that stuff. I did that for ClickFunnels for the majority of last year, right? You don't have to have that to be able to find or be at that level to be able to lead and guide your audience and your customers and your client base on the journey to connect with you, understand what you do and why it's so important, and to partner with you. Okay? So, I'm just looking at some comments. Tanya, so good. Yes, and I want a cool video like that. Janine, you've got it. You know that. And Tanya, again, this just helped me so much. So glad I jumped in on this. You are great. Tanya, thank you so much for sharing that. I'm going to throw that up on the screen. This is why I'm doing it. I want to give you guys the inspiration, the tools, and the motivation that you can do this. Like, you don't have to be some multi-million, $100 million, billion-dollar company in order to be able to connect and use your stories and experiences to really grow your business. Especially if you're starting out or you're in those like 0 to 6 figures and 6 figures to 7 figures. Like, when you're in all these different phases, you tell different stories to build to the next level, right? And I just want you to know that you guys can do this. It's absolutely possible, okay? And, I hope that as you watch through these videos, go back and watch the other ones, comment, share them with your other friends in those niches or that are struggling with it, because I want them to know that they can do it and that it's possible. But if you get stuck, reach out. I can help you as well. Or if I'm not the right fit for you, somebody else can. But you need to be actively working on it. Not just telling your stories for the sake of telling stories, but telling stories with a purpose to get more people to become clients, customers, and a rabid fan base that will follow you to the ends of the earth. Okay? So with that said, what are you going to work on? I'm not going live tomorrow. I take Sundays off. What are you going to work on tonight, tomorrow, through to Monday, right now, to start crafting the journey that you want to take your clients on? As you do, as you write something out, as you talk something out, if you record something, send it to me. I would be happy to look at it. I'm going to start bringing people on to do little hot seat interview type of things, just to walk through things in their business and show you how it can work and how I work with people individually as well, right? Okay, so do some homework for the rest of the weekend. Share with me the breakthroughs or the ideas and the thoughts that you have. And I'd be happy to give you some guidance or whatnot. This doesn't have, I'm offering this to you because I want it to help. People sit down with me for a couple $1,000s for an hour and a half, and to talk through and flesh out and work through their stories. I have a big group of people coming to Phoenix next week. On Thursday, I have 2 different sessions of people that are coming to Phoenix that want help with their stuff, and they're going to get some good attention. I have people like Colleen who can't be there, but she bought a ticket because she wanted to be able to get the bonuses in the recordings and be able to put them to use. This is something I'm offering through this for you guys, and I'm not saying hey, if I'll only talk to you if you pay me a couple $1,000. No, I want to give you guys some small wins so you can see you can do it. And then we go from there, right? So, comments. Oh, thanks, Colleen. That's awesome. And attractive character story for next week. Okay, I like that. I will put that on the list, Janine. Thank you. So, with that said, I am going to close with this last thought. It's so fun to be able to tell your stories and connect. It's even more fun when you can tell your stories and connect and people become paying customers. You can do it. You do not have to be a master storyteller. You don't have to be, somebody who has spoken on stages all around the world. You don't have to be renowned and have a huge following. You have the message now. You just need to find a way to uncover it. Whether that's through self-discovery and asking yourself questions and all those kinds of things, or if you partner with somebody and get a coach or somebody to walk you through it. You have it already. You don't have to come up with something completely brand new, okay? So with that said, Yes, Janine talks about my Vegas workshop. Got her going. I hope this gets the wheels turning, gets the juices flowing, okay? So I'm going to go and help Liesl get the rest of dinner made now. We are going to have a Star Wars themed, we're having Han Solo burgers, Han burgers, and some other fun stuff. So with that said, you guys are awesome. It's possible and doable. And remember, your stories are the things that are going to sell your products. You could have an amazing product, but if you don't tell a good story, nobody's going to hear about it. So you need to start working on and figuring out your stories and connecting them to your products and services. Remember, it just takes one story. May the 4th be with you. We'll see you on Monday.